A very good morning. I could never ever have anticipated that you could be so creative about the church. When this theme was thought of, everybody said, there is no way you're going to attract people to this event this year. Interestingly enough, we've increased our numbers. And more interesting is that for the first time in the history of this event, 11 years on, we have a full media contingent from South Africa. That's how important the topic is. The preaching will have to change. My responsibility is to thank you, and in particular thank the agitator and everybody else who came here, particularly the guest speakers. As a foundation, we cannot afford to pay for their value. So they sacrifice their time, they donate their time. Including Victor. They are charged per minute. And if you see or heard the time he spends just to say thank you, there's no way you could afford it. I just had a few things to share on the content, which is a perspective from the book that was published last year, Larry Simply Larry. It's advisable to have a copy and read it. One of the things that come out in that book is, how do you identify yourself? Now, between Siza and myself, we've got a lot in common. But we've also got a lot uncommon. I was a boy then, and she was a girl. I was a Salesian, admired St. Michael's. She was at St. Michael's, she didn't care about Salesian. So, those are the differences that we have. But the big difference that I would like to talk about has to do with the church I identify with. As Anglican, she ended up at St. Michael's. In those days, the school that you went to was determined by the church you come from. So, we're very lucky as the Masilelas that we ended up in a Roman Catholic church. Yet as a family, we're not, and we still are not, Roman Catholic. So in the book, I say I was Roman Catholic by day and Lutheran by night. That's the difference that I have with her. But what brings us together are the similarities. The training of the missionaries seem to have converged somehow. Whether you're a Nazarene, Lutheran, Anglican, Roman Catholic, there was a convergence at some point. Which convergence influenced our subconscious. And I emphasize subconscious because we lived a life not fully appreciating what we're benefiting or gaining from this exposure. It is only with hindsight that you realize it is that training that I got then. Part of the similarity is that Siza, because of the training that she got, at some point in her professional life, she had to walk away from a job for a principal, not knowing where she was going to go to, but she left. Now, this is one lesson that is carried in Larry. And they taught us that in life, there are two decisions that you have to make in every confrontation that you are faced with. And when you make a decision, you will know deep down in your gut that you've made the right or the wrong decision. And they would say there are two choices: the easy wrong and the difficult right. It is when you take that difficult right, which is tough, you lose your job, you forgo income, you don't know what the sunset has for you, but you've made a decision that you'll be comfortable with for the rest of your life. And that is what she did, together with her board. I was hoping she was going to discuss those things with us, to share with us how she arrived at that decision. When you make, it's like getting married, or even getting divorced. When you finally make that decision, we know you spent a lot of time tormenting about it. And by the time she made that decision, they've gone through a lot of soul searching. Now, my responsibility is to just thank you and nothing more. So I would like you to help me in thanking Siza for sharing her experiences with us. Siza, please join me in front. Now, we have a very generous partner, Harith, who has been supporting this event for the past 7 or 8 years, if I'm not mistaken. It could be longer than that. They have something to give to Siza. The first thing that Siza is going to get is what we call the Magogo trophy. This is a trophy that was designed specifically for number 43 and those people we cherish dearly. And this is the trophy. Thank you. Not only that, as a foundation, one of the responsibilities that we've given ourselves is to continue to document and preserve our history. And we've gone a step further to not only do that, but to also celebrate it. There's a lady sitting right there at the back playing with the camera. Noluthando, please stand up. Noluthando is a young poet from Soweto. She is now typically known as the Velvet Voice. She generously sacrificed her time to produce 10 poems to celebrate the history of number 43, when we celebrated 10 years of this event. And the title, as you can see, is 10 years on. If you want to hear a bit, we can ask her to just give you a piece, particularly those of us who are not going to be at the dinner tomorrow night, where she's going to be presenting one or two of her pieces. This we're also sharing with Siza. Celebrate. And then lastly, not only do we talk about the church, we also talk about our cultures, traditions, and backgrounds. As the Masilela family Andebeles, they then have a very special gift to give to her. And this gift is the gift that once you're given, it's like a blessing. You can't take it off. So, she's going to be given this blanket. Everywhere you see her this weekend, she should be wearing this blanket. Thank you very much.